So the hot flashes actually is one of the easier things to manage through lifestyle and diet. So I remember my hot flashes was so bad because I couldn't sleep through the night, which affected my energy the next day because I will wake up in the middle of the night like sweating hot. If I can give any tips that you can start doing today is to balance your blood sugar. So unstable blood sugar and high insulin is connected to more frequent hot flashes.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the VoCP Talks, a platform to empower the cancer community. Our guest speaker today is Keiko. Keiko is a 6-year breast cancer survivor. She is a holistic nutrition and health coach and is also a breast cancer health coach. So thank you so much for joining us today, Keiko.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me today.
So please tell us about your cancer history, how you got diagnosed, and the various treatments you underwent.
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer a little over 6 years ago now. One day I was just stretching. When I was laying on the floor and when I was stretching, I felt, I went like this and I felt the lump. So I've never done any self-exam that a doctor recommends to do, like once a month, check your breast. I just never took that seriously because I don't have anybody with breast cancer or just cancer in general history in my family. So that was something that ever crossed my mind. And also at that time I was 33, so relatively young and healthy, or I thought I was healthy. So that never crossed my mind. So one day when I was stretching, I just felt a lump on my right breast. And I never felt that before, so I thought it was weird, and I did get a bad feeling. And of course, like anybody else, I started Googling, and I made an appointment with my primary care doctor, and then she saw me, and she referred me to go get mammogram done. So I was able to schedule fairly quick, and then when I went to do the mammogram, that's when the doctor who was doing mammogram on me was telling me that, okay, we need to do ultrasound because we found something. So they did ultrasound right after I had mammogram done. And then while they were doing ultrasound, the doctor basically told me that he was like, well, I am 99% sure this is cancer based on the shape and how it looks. And after that, I was really lucky that they scheduled biopsy right away on the same day. So they did the biopsy right away. And then at that time, I didn't know anything about cancer. So when they told me they were doing the biopsy right away, I didn't even know what that meant, what the biopsy was. So they did the biopsy, and then a week after that, I did get the result and confirmation that it was a cancer. So the day that I got diagnosed was actually my 33rd birthday, so I will always remember that. And they found, in addition to the tumor on my right breast, they found a small tumor on my armpit. So mine had already spread to lymph node, but the one on armpit, I couldn't really feel it myself. It was smaller than the one on my breast. So, and then I was diagnosed with triple positive breast cancer.
And what treatments did you go through?
So after that, I went through chemotherapy first, and then after chemotherapy, I had a surgery, I had a lumpectomy, and then after that, I had radiation, and after radiation, I started on hormonal blockers because I had a hormonal-positive breast cancer.
So, hormonal-positive breast cancer, what exactly does it?
So that means the cancer cells has receptors for estrogen or progesterone, and that's what is fueling the tumor and driving the tumor. So what I didn't know was there are good type of estrogen and bad type of estrogen, and with the medications that I was on, it was suppressing the estrogen, but it did not address the root cause, why was my my estrogen was higher, or why was my hormones were off balance to begin with. So that is like the one thing that I learned throughout the journey.
So you had to undergo a variety of treatments over a long span of time. And how did this diagnosis and the treatment, did they drastically affect your lifestyle, your routines, or your mental health?
Yes, when I got diagnosed, I mean, I think like most people, I was pretty shocked, and especially since I don't have any family history of cancer, but then I learned that the genetics plays, it's like around 10% or even less for people who gets diagnosed with cancer. I think it just in my mind, I was thinking it's either people with genetic, carrying genetic genes, or just like older people or living like an unhealthy lifestyle. And I was like none of those. So I was really shocked. As far as the day to day, I actually did continue to work until I was done with chemo. And that is something personally for me. If I could go back, I probably would not have done that. And I think it really depends on the person, because some people said it takes the minds off, especially if it's something that you enjoy. You feel like your work, it just kind of keeps your mind off of what you're going through. For me personally, the work that I was doing was not like aligned with what I wanted to do. And then also with the chemo brain, I was noticing like making the mistake that I wouldn't normally, make the mistakes. And even though I was going through the treatment, I was kind of hard on myself in that way. Like, oh my gosh, like, why did I forget that, or why did I do that? So, yeah. So I think that was day to day, and I usually took a couple of days off, like because I was getting chemo every week. So I would take like a next day or two like off, or just work from home for a couple hours, something like that, which was nice. I'm grateful that my boss gave me like flexible hours in that way. But so that's kind of like the change during the treatment that I went through. Yeah.
So once your treatments were done, how did you do anything to ensure that there was a smooth recovery, getting back
Uh,
to normalcy?
yeah. So I think there's a huge gap when you support and care for the patients once you're done with active treatments. And I struggle a lot when I finish the treatments, because my anxiety actually got worse after I was finished with the active treatments. So, and then of course, dealing with side effects from being on the hormonal blockers, I was forced to be a menopause, and going through that, as well as some lingering long-term side effects from the chemo treatments. All those things combined, I like emotionally, mentally, and physically, I struggle a lot at the beginning. I would say that I was seeing different care, so for like more like a holistic approach. So doing acupuncture was very helpful, and also changing the diet and the lifestyle. That's something that I started incorporating more of after I was done with the treatments. I did start seeing integrated medicine doctor when I was going through the chemo treatments. But a lot of things I just couldn't incorporate, just because my appetite was off, and like low energy and all these things. Like so once I was done with the active treatments, that's when I was able to go deeper and like really look into changing my lifestyle and eating habits and all that stuff.
So how important is a support system, a reliable support system for a cancer patient?
Yeah, I think it's so important. It's first, of course, your friends and your families. That support is huge, and but I understand not everybody has that, or maybe has some friends, their families live far away, or has passed away, or didn't really have anybody around. So being plugged into the community of, in my case, it's like there are many breast cancer support groups. So being able to talk to other people who understands what you're going through is huge. And because, at the end of the day, family and friends support are huge, but what you're going through, like physically and emotionally, people who are going through that can only really relate to you. So I think being plugged into positive support group. I said positive just because, usually they are positive, but I know some people, or I had an experience a couple of times where I kind of did a little bit step away just because I felt a little triggered when I was in that community. But in general, if the people are really supportive and you can relate to them, so I think that's very important. And other than that, I think like what I mentioned, like looking beyond like a conventional medicine. So I started seeing therapists. That was first time in my life that I was start seeing therapists. So doing that more, looking at the health holistically, taking care of mental and a physical approach. I think it's really important in terms of like support system.
So having a community that really understands what you're going through can be really helpful for cancer
Yes,
patients.
yes, definitely.
Okay. We often hear about this connection between soy and hormones. So
Mm-hmm.
is there really a connection, and why are some people often advised not to consume soy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's I know that's like been a big topic for a while, but I've noticed that more and more doctors are actually and telling patients the soy is safe, and actually it has opposite of what they were saying. So the soy, or actually many other fruits and vegetables that contains phytoestrogens, because soy has isoflavones, which is the type of phytoestrogen. Many people, doctors or many people used to think, oh, because it has the phytoestrogen, it's going to increase the estrogen in your body. But what they have found through many studies throughout the years is, first, it is the phytoestrogens, the plant's estrogens are much weaker than our own body's estrogen. And the type of the soy is what makes a difference. So soy isolate or concentrated soy they have found is actually harmful for our body, but the whole soy, and especially fermented form, so we're talking about like natto or tempeh or even like miso, these things are actually beneficial and balance our own hormones. So yes, so I think it's now, from what I hear from my clients and other people, their doctors actually encouraging them to make sure that they're eating organic and the whole form of soy, not the processed soy. Yeah.
So is soy something that they can consume regularly, or is there a limit to it? Like they should only eat it once a week,
Oh, yes.
once in 2 weeks?
I think when I was going through the healing phase of my journey. So I'm talking about, it's been 6 years for me, but I was like my first couple of years, I was eating, after I was done with the treatment, I was eating soy probably 3 times, or not just soy, but the things that contains phytoestrogen. So like, for example, like a pomegranate, or garbanzo beans. I was eating flax seeds, those type of food, the phytoestrogen food, 3 to 4 times a week, at least, I would say. But the like anything, I wouldn't consume even something that is good like every single day.
Too
That's
frequent.
like in high dosage, yeah. So I would say like the safely like 3 times. Like the study show like the people, they've actually done the study where people who had a breast cancer ate the soy and didn't eat the soy and follow them for the 10 years to see if they had a recurrence rate, and the people who ate soy 3 times a week had less recurrence rate than people who did not. So, yeah.
So next, I would like to talk about menopause. So this induced menopause that comes as a result of cancer treatments, they often have the same side effects that natural menopause also has. So are there any ways to deal with these symptoms that come about, like hot flashes?
Yes, yes. So the hot flashes actually is one of the easier thing to manage through lifestyle and diet. So I remember my hot flashes was so bad because I couldn't sleep through the night, which affected my energy the next day because I would wake up in the middle of the night like sweating hot. And but I would say if I can give any tips that you can start doing today is to balance your blood sugar. So unstable blood sugar and high insulin is related to connected to more frequent hot flashes. So looking at your diet and the lifestyle, focusing on the meals that balances your blood sugar. So for example, the easier thing that you can start doing is like your breakfast should not be high carbs, or because that will spike the insulin after being fasted throughout the night. And yeah, so that's probably the easy switch you can start doing. Like if you are having carb heavy breakfast, so even like oatmeal, switch to more high protein breakfast. So that is going to help sustain the blood sugar throughout the day, and you will notice a massive difference with hot flashes.
So controlling diet is the main thing that you can do to help with the symptoms.
Yes, as far as hot flashes. And then I think many people who are going through it probably already know about caffeine and alcohol definitely triggers hot flashes. So I would say like it's not forever. What I noticed with myself and just working with my clients who are on hormonal blockers are once you balance your hormones, you will be able to have like some caffeine without getting triggered with hot flashes. So obviously like not like 2-3 cups a day, but you can have like like a 1 cup, and then without having the impact of hot flashes. Yes, but I would say like if you're having at the beginning, and if you're having a severe hot flashes, that will help tremendously if you cut completely or just switch to decaf or green tea, something like that. Yeah.
So are there any things that someone can do for their mental health during treatments that they undergo? Are there any ways they can deal with the anxiety and fear that they face?
Yes, I think having a proactive prevention plan is very important in terms of just if you don't know what you're doing and you're constantly wondering like, oh, because I heard you have to be vegan, or you cannot eat this, you cannot do that, and it's just there's so many informations out there, and when you consume all these information, what I know is that people tend to get very overwhelmed and they don't know where to start, and therefore they just feel even more stress. because you don't know if you're doing the right thing or not. And I would say like everybody's body is different, and there is more than one way to heal. So having a solid like a prevention, being proactive, and then having that plan for that works for you is going to help a lot with, okay, like, you know, I'm okay, like it, without having constant fear of like if I'm doing things right and if this is going to cause cancer or not. So
having a clear plan that they know that they can follow,
mm-hmm.
that will help with anxiety.
Yes, and that, like I said, like it, that can look very different for everybody. So um, we, I think the other thing is that's huge is that looking at mental and emotional health. I think we often tend to, I mean, I was like that myself when I finished the treatment. It was very, very focused on like food and nutrition and like lifestyle. But um, it's really important to look, dig in a little deeper, and just search if there is any, if you're living the life that you are like authentic to yourself, and being true to yourself, because I think we often live the life in autopilot, and then we get smacked with something like cancer, and this is like a very, I mean, people say, describe it as kind of like a wake-up call, or like for me it was like a turning point, and I wish it didn't happen, but you can use this as an opportunity to really evaluate and look into like every area of your life, and um, especially I would say like the emotional part of it.
Okay, so do you have any tips for a cancer patient who plans on traveling or celebrating the holidays?
Oh yes, I think just enjoy and have fun. Like, I mean, I know like a lot of us feel kind of stress in, for example, like, I don't know, like alcohol, or, you know, like we all know that's linked to cancer. So, but I think when you are having that moment, like just even for me, like I don't try to live, you know, perfect 100%, because that's just not sustainable and stressful. So have like just really let go and like enjoy every moment, eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want, you know, just celebrate life. And yeah, I would say that's like my tip for people who are planning on taking a trip, is just fully enjoy the moments and not worry about, like, if you're gonna be fine, you're going for 2 weeks, whatever, like, you know, do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time to end the session. So my final question is, what is your message to our cancer community here?
Yes, I think that my message will be that I know that cancer is a very awful, difficult diagnosis. Doesn't matter what age you are, what type of cancer you get diagnosed with. It's just, you know, it is our very challenging time of your life, but you can use this as an opportunity to really um, look into your life and see if there's anything that you don't feel aligned with how you're living your life. And I'm not talking about just like a diet, but like really, really dig deeper, like with your inner self. I think that's will be a key for really feel like thriving rather than just surviving after cancer, and embracing that. I know that new normal sounds kind of like a negative things, but it can actually be a positive things, and it can actually lead to a healthier or a healthier life after cancer, and that's possible. So that's my message. Yeah.
That's a beautiful message. Thank you so much, Kaiko, for joining us in today's live session on cancer nutrition and awareness. And your insights were incredibly valuable, and they are sure to have benefited many of our viewers. So, would you like to tell them how to find you on social media or elsewhere?
Yes. So you can find me at the Wellness After Breast Cancer, and please feel free to DM me. I work with my clients one-on-one, but I am we just talked about menopause. So I am having a free workshop for people who are going through menopause from the medications or not, how to alleviate these symptoms that we just talked about. So I haven't had the dates, but you can sign up and I'll send the link with the dates when I have the schedules. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Have a
much for
good
having
day.